Hello everyone, good afternoon, happy Saturday. It's Kylie here with my 12 days of Craftmas and we're on day 6. So we're going to be doing a bit of crafting, a bit more Christmas crafting today. I've got a little gift box to show you today and we're going to do a version of this box that I made in my all-day retreat. We did these, but I'm going to do it in different papers. And it's such a cute little template to have to hand because it's such a nice shape and size box for putting your little Christmas gifts in. You can have them as little table favors as well, and they're just a really nice box. So once you've learned how to do them, they're actually I think they're easier to do than you think. There's only a couple of little stages in it that are maybe a little bit more fiddly, but I think it's worth it for the overall end result. So I am going to show you this one, and I will get started because you're all going to be busy today because it's a weekend in December and things have gone a bit mad, haven't they already? So I'll just show you the box again in a bit more detail. So this one uses the elegant pines papers. Very, very cute. Nice green ribbon as well. But we're going to be doing a version of it in the black, white and gold of this modern Christmas papers. And again, I'm afraid this is out of stock still at the moment. Let me just double check because I didn't check this morning whether it had come back in. Let me just do a little typey in the screen. Yeah, it's still out of stock, but not to worry because if you place an order that's £45 or more, you're going to get a kit to make this box with this paper in it. I've got enough paper to create a few kits for you, so obviously limited supply, so first come first serve, but I think I've got enough to make a few up. I've definitely got, well, I've already cut the ones for the people that have already ordered, so, and I've got plenty left over, so should be fine. So I just think it's stunning paper. The gold and the black and the white is just so elegant, but this is my favorite, this one with the little kind of geometric design on it. So I'll put this to one side because that's what I'm going to be putting up later. So to create the box base, all you need is an A4 sheet of cardstock in a colour that coordinates with your papers. And to make the box this size, which is kind of a nice sort of diameter, and it's the diameter that kind of fits on this A4. You could do it a little bit higher with an A4, but I'm cutting it down just so it's a little bit more sort of chunky, if that makes sense. But you could do it a little bit higher with the A4 sheet. You can actually make much bigger versions if you connect more than one piece of cardstock, but that's for another time. So take your A4 sheet and you're going to put it in your trimmer so that the short edge is along the top. So it's portrait, and you're going to cut that down to 16 centimeters, and that's going to end up being the sort of height with the flap at the bottom. And then you're going to trim it down in length because the length of the A4 is 29.7 centimeters. You're just going to trim that down to 28. So you just don't need this little extra bit at the side. No, 28.5 that should have been. 28.5. But I think we'll be all right with that. So yeah, we will be all right. But when you cut yours, just cut it to 28.5. Okay, now we're going to do some scoring. So I've turned it back. No, let's do the score on this side. So with the long edge along the top, we're going to create 6 score lines, equal distance apart, at 4.5, 9, 13.5, 18, 22.5 and 28. Sorry, 27. 27, and then that's leaving me this 1 centimetre tab for gluing, which is actually fine. I think in my original instructions I'd left a 1.5 centimetre for gluing, but 1 centimetre is usually fine, so I'm all right. And then turn it, and you're going to score at 5 centimetres. Oops, just get you in shot. 5 centimetres and 11 centimetres. So the top section and the bottom section are the same size. The bottom section will be the bottom of the box, will be the flaps. Seem to have frozen. Oh, I've come unfrozen again. And the top section will be folded for the top sort of star-shaped design on the top. And then this middle section is what we're going to be decorating with the papers. So I'm just going to do a little bit of folding just so that I can see the creases a little bit better as well. It's not so bad on this dark card actually. So everything gets folded the same way here. And now we're going to do some diagonal score lines. And we need to create diagonals, triangles on each of these. I'll just draw what I mean in pencil, just roughly so you can see. So we're going to find the center of each section at the top, and then we're going to score a diagonal line from the corner of each of these sections to that center line, and then down to the next corner to make little triangles. So easiest way to do that is to take a ruler and make a mark at the center point. So if these are 4.5 centimeters, then your pencil line needs to be at 2.25. So halfway between the 2 and the 2.5 mark is what I would do. And then just do that all the way along. And then if you do them small enough, you shouldn't have to erase them with an eraser, but and they're on the inside as well. So now I'm going to you can use a bone folder and a ruler. You can use your scoring tool that's from your scoreboard. But to hand, I have my take your pick tool, and you twist off your pointed tool end and you can switch it out for this ball tool that you can get with it, which is the perfect scoring tool. And also you kind of, if you've got a really hard surface like my desk here, it's just got a piece of paper on it, you might find it better to put something underneath. And I like to use the cardboard backings that come out of things, you know, like your papers and your kits and things, because it just makes it a little bit squishier. And then you go from your pencil mark down to the corner, and you do that on all of these sections. So place your ball tool right on the mark, put your ruler up to it, twist your ruler so it joins the corner, and then just run your ball tool down. It just kind of creases the paper just enough so that you can give it a little bend. I keep going wonky because I keep moving it. There. So now you can see you've got your triangles. And then if these are folding this way, your triangles need to fold the opposite way. So flip it over again. And now use your finger and you just kind of, you almost hold the triangle down with your fingers and lift to crease that diagonal line. That's the easiest way that I found to do it. And you just have to do it just enough so that when the box folds up, it will kind of want to take on that shape naturally. So we just keep going each side. That should be enough. So that's kind of what it'll look like. So let's cut the flaps at the bottom, and then that base is done. So right, of course I don't have any scissors on my desk. Let's see if I can find some in a, must have some somewhere. Just use these ones that are out my drawer. I checked for everything else, checked for adhesives, paper. Take your pick tool, but I didn't check for scissors. So I'm just going to cut along these, just straight along these score lines, right up to this bottom vertical score line. And then when it comes to this end one, I'm just going to cut off the tab just at an angle and just angle that top bit of the tab. So that's the cutting done. So now I'm going to cut my papers up, and actually, because I want this to look extra posh, I'm going to get some gold card. So I'm going to layer my paper up with gold card to make it extra posh. So this, I need 6 pieces of this, and it's going to measure 5.5 centimeters by 4 centimeters. So I need 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then cut the papers up 1/2 centimetre smaller, or actually, because I don't want too much of the gold showing, I'm just going to do it at 4 millimeters shorter. So actually it'll be 5.1 by 3.6. And I think I can measure it on this side of my trimmer, just about. That will be easier. How many have I cut? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then we just have to glue those on. Oh, good afternoon, Ali. What are you up to today? Doing anything festive? I was hoping to get out to do a little bit of quick shopping, but I don't know if I'll get a chance to. Shopping on a Saturday in December is probably not the best idea. Right, but yeah, I've got some friends over later. It's going to be a nice evening in, and it's definitely not going to be a silent night, that's for sure, but it's going to be fun. Festive Christmas sleepover. It's becoming a tradition with some of my besties. So yeah, I've got some ingredients to make my favourite cocktail. Can anybody guess what my favourite cocktail is? I don't know if I've mentioned it on there before, but yeah, see if you can guess. Oh, I've cut too many squares of card. There you go. And now we can glue these onto the centre panels sections, just nice and neatly between the score lines. Yeah, I feel like I'm nearing the end of my Christmas crafting, if that makes sense. I feel like I'd like to kind of get you know, clear out the Christmas stuff and start playing with my spring things. So I'm just as it's starting to it's beginning to look a bit like Christmas, I am ready to start taking it all down. That's always the way when you start Christmas crafting early. So I probably started at least thinking about it in July. Started playing in August, I think. So we are, yes, I'm nearing the finish of my Christmas joy. That's not quite right. Obviously I've still got plenty of Christmas spirit left. But more for the gatherings and the drinking and the eating and the presents than the crafting. Yeah, Christmas crafting's nearly over for me. Let's see. Right, now we can fold it in half, sort of in half, put glue on that tab, and then fold the other end onto it, just to kind of assemble it into this sort of hexagonal tube shape. Just make sure that's nice and secure. And now this is the bit that I was telling you about being slightly trickier. You want to make sure that you're gluing these down, and they will overlap by about 2 or 3 centimeters. They'll overlap each of these flaps, but you want to make sure that they're not overlapping too much or too little, that will end up stretching the hexagon out of its perfect shape. So you kind of just have to judge it. The first 2 that you overlap, so take opposite flaps, overlap them, make sure you've got a nice shape, and glue them down. And I just think it's a toss-up really, because your wet glue will give you some time to adjust, but it won't hold it fast enough for you to be able to move on to the next bit, and it can slide around and be really annoying. So how I've done it is just taken some tape on the underside of one of the flaps, and then just get this one, lower it onto it while getting your shape, and then stick it down use your fingers in there and get that down. So I think I'm all right with that shape. It's not perfect, it doesn't matter. So now with your next two, just put little bits of your tear and tape on the undersides, and you can kind of lower these down parallel. Make sure they're parallel, make sure they're not twisting the shape of the box. Press it down a little bit, and then you can get your whatever down in there just to hold that. And then your final two. Maybe this bit does take a little bit of practice. Obviously I've made a few of these now. My first one, in fact I can show you my first one. The first one wasn't perfect. Look, that was a little bit messed up there. It kind of was in place, and then when I assembled the rest of the box it sort of went a bit out of shape. But after that they've been pretty good. So practice makes perfect. Maybe do a prototype. This is what I usually do when I'm making boxes or bags. I'll take some cardstock, just in a colour that I've got loads of, and usually grey. Always have loads of grey, and I do a practice one. And I'll be honest with you, nearly every time I do a box or a bag for the first time, I probably waste about 4 or 5 sheets of cardstock before I get one that I like. So that's my way of practicing, and I'm happy to sacrifice the cardstock to get, once I'm happy with it, that I know what I'm doing and my measurements are right, and then I'll get my actual cardstock and nice papers out and do it. That's the best way of doing it. Your first one's probably never going to be perfect. So this is the shape that you're looking for, and so to tie it with ribbon we need to put holes in these. So you need a single hole punch. I don't think that's going to work. So I usually use my cropper dial. I don't know if you've got one of these eyelet setting tools, which are really, really good for cutting cardstock as well. But I have got another single hole punch. These are really good. So what you can do is just take, you can make a mark where you want to punch your hole, but it's kind of in the center near the top, and you can punch through like that, pinch the next one, do the same, and because you're punching through 2 pieces of card at the same time, it is quite stiff, but these are really good. They will punch through both sheets, and I just like to use both hands. So you need to grip lightly and then get your other hand in. Final one. Okay. Now we're going to take some lovely gold ribbon and just start threading through. Let's just my desk is actually quite tidy today, believe it or not, but I keep losing things. Even so every time I put those scissors down it's like a black hole. So cut my ribbon to a little point so it's easier to thread through. tie it in a nice big bow like that. Now it's just ready to decorate with something cute. So whatever label that you might have, I really want to heat emboss onto black with the gold, just to kind of tie all that in together. But just because I'm feeling a little bit lazy today, I'm going to do this exact same thing as I did yesterday with these. I told you I use these so much. This round one is perfect for here. So I am going to do what I did yesterday again with my black blending brush, black ink, and just get that brushed on. Let's just see if I can speed this up by actually rubbing it in straight into the ink pad. Yeah, that's looking good. Really nice and dark. Probably going to have messy fingers, but we can sort that. So just a little bit of tissue paper or kitchen paper or your cloth. Give that a rub to shine up your gold. There you go. That looks good on there. Put a dimensional on. There we go. There's your two different boxes. So there you go. Yeah, so I'm doing this special 12 days of Christmas, 12 days of Craftmas specials, and I'm going to treat my customers to a little packet to make all 12 of the projects that I'm showing over the next 12 days, or your choice of free gift. So with an order of £45 or more. But the PDF is going to be available for all my customers who spend £25 or more. So you don't have to spend the full £45 to get the PDF. That will be available to purchase as an alternative to placing an order as well at the end of the 12 days. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to be back tomorrow, and it will replace my normal Sunday night Facebook Live. But yeah, I'm going to share with you another cute little project, and I'm going to do some prize draws as well. So do tune in tomorrow at 12. And if you're watching as well on catch up later on, look out for my Christmas song bingo. There may have been a couple of songs or in the last couple of days that I've managed to fit in. You can win some more prizes if you create something like this yourself. Please share it as well. I'd love to see what you're making inspired by my crafting over the next few days. But until then, have an amazing day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching and commenting. Bye bye now.